All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back. Happy Monday. Good morning, Jen.
Good morning.
The windows are open. It's beautiful out. So if people hear the birds, or I'm sure someone's going to start mowing their lawn or whatever any second, that's what it's from.
Spring is here.
Anyway, yeah, it's gorgeous out. It's been really nice here in the Northeast, other than the rain, other than the torrential rain we have randomly. It's been really nice. So today we're going to talk about why salons, or why some salons continue to grow and why some salons hit a plateau. And I know that rhymes and it's cheesy, but it is what it is. Yeah. So anyways, we always start with our
opening takes,
which I think both of us have actually to do with the business this week.
So yeah, I might change mine. I just had a thought.
Okay.
I got something new.
Do you want me to go, or do you need to work on it, or do you?
No, I'm ready.
What are we doing? All right, go for it.
So I had yesterday a stylist reach out that was literally in the process of listening to our podcast. She's like, I'm driving, text messaging. She wasn't texting. She's audio messaging, whatever that's called. Anyway, she's like, I'm listening to your podcast right now. And her business owner have been doing hair like me 27 years. She's like, I know we need to raise our prices. And I'm listening to your podcast, but I don't know when to do that. Like, how do you figure it out? It's interesting because sometimes people will look at, oh, you've been doing hair so long, you must know everything. But even seasoned stylists are like, I don't know when I'm supposed to do this. So I just went over a couple things. I'm like, this is how Todd and I run it. Hello. What?
Episode 206.
Is that what it was? Okay.
I had to look. Yeah. How to raise your salon prices.
So I'm like, this is what we look at for the staff. And she was like, I've even looked around, which good or bad, whatever. But basically, she is very underpriced. And then I just kind of went through.
Looked around what?
To like surrounding salons. She's like, we are way underpriced. There's people that are just coming out of school that are charging more than us. And this just creates a conversation, really. So I just said to her, we look at kind of percent booked, this and this. Sure, you're already there and you probably should have raised them yesterday. But I said, also, you're forgetting the value of a continuingly educated stylist that's very seasoned and what that has to offer. A new client can sit in a new stylist chair and it's going to take them way longer than it would in our chair. We've been doing hair for a very long time. There is a lot of value in that. That's generally the new clients I get is I'm saving them time. And then I'm like, you just have to look at it. And I said, we always raise by 1%, not a dollar amount. And it's generally around this. And she was like, all right, this helps so much. I actually cut her hair too. So she's like, I'll see you soon. I can't wait to chat. But it's always fun when someone's listening to the podcast, gets inspired, gets excited, and gets a realization that, wait, I need to be doing this. Like, why am I not raising my prices? And then how do I do this? And like I said, it was a quick back and forth, but it was fun to hear that they were inspired by the podcast. And hopefully she's implementing some price increases and is successful.
That's awesome. Yeah. I always think it's cool too when people are like, I feel like you're talking to me. Yeah. I listen to your podcast and I feel like you're calling me out. And I'm like, no, I promise we're not thinking of anyone specific. Sometimes you'll see something and it will inspire the thought, but trust me, you're not the only person making that mistake. And because that's what it is often, right? It's someone I'm doing that. It's not what I should be doing. I just got stuffy. Anyways, I just think that's cool. And I forget what I was going to say, so we'll just move on. I want my opening take. I want to talk about your apprenticeship program.
Okay. And
we just had our last round of meetings to wrap up our one-on-ones, or really two-on-ones. It's Jen and I. And there's always positive stuff that comes out of that. There's always great stuff. And one of them was that Madison, your apprentice, got a price increase. She got a raise.
Yes.
Now, she's still an apprentice. And I think a lot of people probably have a hard time hearing that an apprentice got a raise. And I know that because we've had people in our salon that I'll touch on in a second that have had major problems with apprentices. We don't have those people anymore, but we have had it in the past. And I was thinking about this earlier this week or whenever, and I thought I always picture like when you say something or you post something or whatever, how people react to it. And that says a lot more than their words. It's their reaction, right? And I thought this industry talks about how artistic it is. It talks about how like forward thinking it is. It talks about cutting edge and trends and all this stuff. But this industry, actually, when you think about it, it really rewards conformity over originality. And that's why I wanted to talk about Madison and your apprentice program, because she's not the first apprentice to get a raise before she even has a license. I mean, she has a license. She's a licensed apprentice through the state, whatever, but she doesn't have...
She's not a licensed cosmetologist.
Right.
Right.
She's not licensed yet. And for people listening that are like, that's not cool, blah, blah, blah. Look, apprenticeship program in our state allows us to train people at our salon. Instead of going to school, she's going to sit for the same exam. She's going to take the same practical. She's going to do those things in exactly the same with double the hours and multiple people teaching her. So they come out stronger than people coming out
faster.
So congratulations to Madison. Why is she getting a price increase? One, she's worth it. Two, it's a win-win. It helps the salon business and it helps her make some money. She has, what's the word I'm looking for? Demand. So she's booking in. We open her schedule up. She gets people that fill it in. And that's not just random. Right. She's connecting with clients. She's having repeat clients. She's building a clientele. A few years ago, you had a different apprentice and the same thing happened. So this was Ava. She got a raise. She got a price increase. And she was charging more than another stylist at our salon who had just started with us, I think a little before that.
And had been doing hair a couple years on and off.
So this person said, hey, Todd, I remember this because she used the word icky, which I thought was funny. She was like, I feel like it's really icky that an apprentice is charging more than me. I want to raise my prices. And I said, that's cool, but here's why. Here's some things to think about. One, you should be focused on yourself, not someone else and what they're doing, because you'll progress way faster. It's just, you're going to be a happier person. Just focus on yourself. That's a piece of advice I can give you. And that's going to carry through everything. Two, she has more demand than you.
And her skill set was much better.
Yeah, I hadn't gotten to that point yet. It's okay. I'm just being funny. Yeah, her skill set was stronger. And this person had been, quote unquote, doing hair for a few years. That always doesn't mean what people think it means. This person had a license for a few years. It doesn't mean she was even doing hair. If she was doing hair for a few years, she would have had a stronger clientele. She would have had more demand and likely would have been charging more. So I know people have a problem with it and think that apprentices are there to sweep your floors, answer your phones, do work so that you don't have to, shampoo your clients, get you coffees, all the stuff you don't want to do, right? I know that's why people think, or what people think, but at Hello, we're trying to be original. We're trying to push the boundaries and we're trying to go, I don't care what everyone else does. We're going to do it our way. And that's been our vision from the beginning, to prove our business model. And I think we're doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, I agree.
So, but that's me. I'm biased. If anyone wants to come chat and see if we're doing a good job and give us a rating or something, that would be cool.
I think what sets us apart is that we want assistants, apprentices to progress as quick as possible, where I do find most often salons want them held back to do all the stuff they don't want to do rather than push them in that direction.
Yeah, and that's just a monkey see, monkey do mentality. People say, oh, this person has an assistant for 3 years, so that's what I should do. Yeah. Instead of think, how does that help your business? It doesn't. It doesn't help your business grow at all to hold someone back. It's the same thing, Jen. I think you mentioned it last week or the week before, where you were talking about a salon that everyone charges the same amount for their haircuts, no matter what. No matter the owner that's been doing hair for 40 years or the person just out of hair school. Everyone charges the same amount. And that makes no sense to me. How does that help your business?
Yeah, I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense to me at all. All right. So let's talk about what separates growing owners from stuck owners or people that are plateaued.
Let's.
All right. I think the first biggest thing is that an owner that's going to grow is going to focus on the fundamentals. It's important to focus on the things that you already have in place, but that's what gets boring, I think, for most people. Or they're not good at it, so they struggle. And so what are these things? Client experience is probably up there, which is going to lead to retention. So if we talk about those two things. A growth-focused business owner is going to focus on how can I make the client experience better so that I retain more clients. Where somebody that's stuck is going to think about what discount can I offer to get new clients. It's just a mindset shift, right? Communication and leadership, those are things that you have to have as a business owner. Every business needs strong leadership, whether you like it or not. It's just part of the gig. It doesn't matter. It's not going to change and it doesn't go away. And then your systems and your culture. Those are always things that are going to need attention.
Constant.
Yeah. And an owner that's stuck is going to they're more likely to chase tactics. They want tips and tricks, where those growing owners are focused on the fundamentals. What are you laughing at?
The tips and tricks. It's just funny.
That's what people are looking for. They're people that are stuck are, like I said, they're looking at what's the next marketing tactic? What's the next social media trend? How do I hire the next person? They're looking for the next solution, and they're probably not even asking the right questions. So they don't know what to answer, which we're going to get into right now. But I think this ties into, was it 2 weeks ago? Anyways, an episode that we published that was, this industry will do anything but hair.
Right.
They're always looking for, what can I sell? What can I do? And those aren't really the right things to be asking. That's what's going to keep you stuck. And these are just observations that we've made talking to a ton of owners over the last few years and watching people and listening and just paying attention.
Right.
So let's get into questions. I think that somebody that is more focused on growth and more able to grow is asking better questions. And I know we've talked about it before, but those sort of stuck owners are always thinking about, how do I get more clients? How do I make more money? How do I hire people faster? What's the next thing that I should do? Where an owner that's focused on growth or able to grow would ask a question like, why aren't the clients returning? What's missing? And these are just, you might be like, those are the same things. They're not. They're really not. One is a hamster wheel and one is trying to build a business that's going to grow exponentially over time.
Even when we sit in our one-on-ones with our staff, we're every single person like, I want to be busier. I want to make more money. And they will say, I want more clients. And then it's our job to lead them and explain to them, you may have enough clients right now. Let's talk about what we can do to add value to when those clients are in there. It's so easy to look past the client that's in your book and the space that you have next. So when that client comes in for that consultation, we need you to listen to the problems they're having. And we need you to really pay attention to how you can solve those for them. And if you have dead space in your book and they're sitting there talking about all these other things and what they're booked for, it's your job to suggest, hey, I have time today. Do we want to do any of this stuff? Rather than just, we booked a haircut, so I'm doing a haircut and we'll talk about this later. So it's our job to even open their minds to filling that space with the people we already have coming in. It's not necessarily always about the new person.
I'd take that a step further, Jen, and say that their minds are open to it. It's you that's missing the mark as the hair pro.
Right. It's our job to lead them. Yeah.
Because we've had people that have come in and have said to me, like at the front, I'll welcome them in, I get them seated, grab them a water, hang their coat, whatever, right? And what brings you in? Oh, I'm just getting a haircut. Oh, cool. First time, show them around. And then they'll say something. I've had this happen where people are like, I have some questions about color. And I'm like, great, so-and-so will be happy. I don't do color, so I'm not going to give you any sort of consultation, but so-and-so will be happy to go over all that with you. And then I'll say to the stylist, hey, your client is here. They're brand new. Here's how they found us. And she has some questions about color. That's your prompt now as the professional to go, oh, Todd said you had some questions about color. Talk to me. What are we doing? But so I've seen it happen both ways. I've seen, because I'll go back over to the stylist after and say, hey, did they talk about color? Oh, they didn't bring it up. Yeah, but I told you. Why didn't you?
Right.
Do you know what I mean? You're the one that's missing the mark.
Right.
You're so focused on, they booked a haircut or shampoo, haircut, blow dry. Right. See ya. But you're leaving a lot of opportunity on the floor because you're not asking better questions. You're not giving a full consultation. And I'm not saying that the stylist at our place that did that is bad or anything. People miss the mark.
Right.
But it's a mindset shift, because we have had, on the flip side, where people all of a sudden are booking appointments not only with themselves, or not only, for example, person comes in for a hair color or a haircut, they end up rebooking for a color, and then they also end up talking to one of our estheticians because they want some skincare stuff. So it's about solving people's problems for them. And how do you do that? You ask better questions. And it transfers to every aspect of your business, every aspect of your life.
Right.
The owners that are plateaued are thinking, how do I hire people? I can't find anyone to hire. This generation doesn't want to work. When's the economy going to turn? Where a growth-focused owner would be asking questions like, why are people not staying here? What am I missing? Why are they not happy? Is it compensation? Is it whatever? Am I not leading them enough? It always goes back to me, the business owner. It always goes back
like
to,
it or not.
What other questions does a growth-focused business owner ask? How about, this is the simplest one ever, but what am I missing? What am I missing? Ask yourself that in every situation. You have a client that is frustrating you. Ask yourself what you're missing. Maybe they're telling you, but you're not listening because you're in your book, or you're stressed about a phone call, or whatever. What am I missing? Maybe you have a staff member that's frustrating you. They never do this. They never do that. Whatever. What are you missing? What am I missing? Or how can I help them better? What's the problem that I'm actually solving? I think that the quality of your answers are limited by the quality of your questions. So better questions, better answers. That's just how it works. A growth-focused business they stop making decisions based on fear. You're going to have fear. Growth-focused owners, or growing businesses, or whatever you want to call it, they still feel fear. They just don't let it creep into the decisions that they make.
That's key.
Yeah. What do you got? You look like you got something to say.
Well, I mean, my first business was all run from fear. I was always afraid everyone's going to leave, or they're going to quit, or if I say this, they're going to be mad. What if then they quit? Every decision we made took into consideration the employees, their feelings, their emotions, the impact of how we thought they were going to react to things. And that's a scary place to go, because you can't really move forward if you're not truly leading them. You're just leading them by following them, or leading them by what you think they're going to do. And it failed, of course. That business made me a better business owner, and I've learned so much from it. But where we're at now, I can easily spot certain things that need to be changed and discussed, and it's not always easy. We had an employee come in last week, and she got there, I guess, not in her mind on time, but after her client was there, before her shift started. But to me, that's late. And she knows this. And it's not easy to say, hey, you were late today. And then some might think this is rude, but I'm like, I don't need any explanation. I don't need your excuses. I don't need to hear anything. I just need you to be on time. And she started to go into what, and she's like, yep, you're right. You're right. Sorry. And I'm like, I'm going to call you guys out if that's where it's at, because our standard is raised this year. Our expectations, you know where they are. So I understand X, Y, and Z might have happened this morning. Again, plan for that. You leave earlier. I don't know what to tell you, but you got to be here early. And I also could have thought, well, that could ruin her day. What does their shift look like for the rest of the day? But those are not my concerns. She knows the rules. She showed up not on time to us. So here we are. If you don't want those conversations, then you know what to do next time when you need to be here and what time you should be here. But again, in my last job, I would have ignored that, because I wouldn't want anybody to get upset or ruin their day. But the day is about the client, and it starts where we want it to.
I don't think that there's anything wrong with that at all, Jen. You said some people might think it's rude. I think it's one of my favorite words, candor. You just have to be direct with people. And we laid out this year, we're pushing people harder. Our salon is growing. Our salon had the best year ever that it's had in terms of revenue, service, retail, all that stuff. Best year ever in 2025. So in 2026, instead of be complacent and stay where we are, we've had conversations that are leading us to, what can we do next? How do we push this staff? How do we take our salon from here to here? And that comes from a growth mindset. It would be so easy to go, oh, we just had our best year ever. Copy and paste.
Right.
Copy and paste. That's what everyone does, though, and that's why everyone's closing. And not everyone, I didn't mean obviously that literally, but that's why you see a lot of businesses closing, especially after multiple decades of being open, because they become complacent. They stop asking the questions. They start operating maybe out of not necessarily fear, but that's what creeps in, because you think, I can't change anything. I can't push anything because this is working. And if I change it, it'll break. But what you're doing is, by not progressing, is you're regressing by definition. Right. That's just, it is what it is. And it happens with everything. It happens, these negative thoughts and fear come in. What's the number one thing, Jen?
Everyone's going to leave.
Pricing. I was going to say. Yeah, everyone's going to leave. So clients are going to leave. It creeps in when you come to hiring. A lot of people out there would probably hire anybody that walks through their door. Why? Because they're fearful that no one else is coming, or they're fearful that they might not be good enough to attract great talent, or somebody that just buys into the vision and the why. It creeps in with compensation. If I don't offer everyone the world, they're going to leave. Well, your business is going to close if you offer them the world. And I want to touch on this too, the accountability and the difficult conversations. That stuff is important. Somebody that's afraid is afraid to upset people. They're afraid to hold standards because they're afraid to lose people, like you mentioned, Jen. So the other day I was in Hello and I was doing whatever, getting set up. And then I greeted somebody that walked through the door. And then I greeted another person. And then I greeted a third person. And I was like, where is everybody? So I go out back. Everyone was just sitting. Now, this happens, okay? This is where leadership comes in. I could get annoyed at them, or I could go point out that clients are here. Now, I've never understood the whole culture, and this happens in a lot of salons that I've seen. There's this culture of sit out back, and when my client comes, somebody will come get me. If you have an appointment at 10 a.m., why are you sitting out back at 10 a.m. still? You know you have it's on your book. You know you have an appointment. Why not come greet the person? Now, a lot of people listening would be like, that's the front desk's job. Yeah, okay. That's a mindset that's going to keep you plateaued or plateau you eventually.
Yeah. And customer service, here we are. Don't you want to greet your own client and make them feel like wowed when you're like, oh, hey, you're here. Yeah. That's amazing. They want to see your friendly face. That's what they came here for.
I forget what I was doing like last week or the week before. I was putting something together or whatever, and I was sitting down in a spot where you couldn't see me. And I saw the door open because I can see through the mirror. I saw the door open and my client walked in. And before I could stand, you were like, oh, hey, Todd will be right out. And I was like, I'm already out. I'm already out. I'm not out back. I was just putting something together right here. And I saw, it was funny, but I don't get why people are out back. So anyways, to finish this story, I went out back and there's 5 people out there. And I'm like, hey guys, there's 3 clients, your client's here, your client's here. And you guys are just sitting out back. And they scrambled. And I was like, now, does that upset people? I don't think so, because I touch base with people after. I'm like, hey, I'm not trying to be snappy with you. It just, Jen and I said we were going to hold you guys to a higher standard. And I think that oftentimes people go into the meetings and everyone feels good. And then it's real easy for them to go, that's probably not going to happen. So no, we want to shake things up this year. We want to elevate things. And if I'm uncomfortable having those conversations or those moments with people, those people aren't going to get better.
Right.
And nothing's going to change.
And they'll be left behind. And part of that is our responsibility.
Yeah, it was funny. People came out and started doing like laundry and filling things. And I was like, I don't need you guys running around. It's just, you guys are sitting out back. We have a great space out back. We probably have one of the largest break rooms that I've ever seen in the history of salons. And we have like sofas and loungy stuff. And that's great because there are times where you need some downtime or you want to go chill, but it's not when there's clients up front waiting. So let's talk about something, I guess we'll just call it long-term vision or long-term thinking. A lot of businesses that are able to grow do so because they're able to see down the road. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about owners that can think 6 months, a year, 3 years, 5 years down the road. I don't know how many years down the road we're thinking exactly, but I will tell you it's at least 3. So that's 3 years from now. Why would I worry about that? so that I don't have to worry about it in 3 years. It's not going to sneak up on me the way that things would sneak up on a lot of other people.
You have to plan.
Yeah. So what does this look like in practice? Somebody that's somebody that is stuck or plateaued, those people are more likely to, I would say, abandon their initiatives too early. So they're going to start something, and before they've given it a fair shake, before they know if it truly works, they're giving up on it because they can't see the long-term vision or that it's going to take a while. That's common, I would say, with marketing. People are like, I ran Google ads for a week and I didn't get anything.
No.
Yeah. We've run them for years, and now it's generating just massive amounts of revenue for us.
Right.
I'm not saying go set Google ads. That might be a different strategy for your business. But why did we do that? Because we saw down the road, we saw something that we knew was going to take 6 to 9 months, and we applied it, and it's compounded over time. Owners that are stuck are going to tend to, I would say, Jen, be distracted. Oh, butterfly. Oh, this. Yes. They're constantly changing directions. They're constantly chasing. They are looking for like an immediate return on investment. And they're oftentimes going to quit before anything has a chance to compound.
This is where I will say, because I was that also, the mission statement becomes so important. So when you're making decisions or implementing new things, you have accountability. Does this fit the mission and the vision of the business, right? Without that, like you said, it's, oh, look, a butterfly, oh, this. And then in a month, you're bored or you didn't see results yet when you didn't even have a trajectory of like, how long, if I implement this, should I give it? We have some people that in our business right now, we weren't open Wednesday mornings. So through these meetings, we figured out through a few people, like I already knew, but Thursdays are just not thriving in the morning. Maybe we have too many people on, not really sure kind of the logistics of that, but let's make a change here. So we're going to move some people to Wednesday mornings. So then the conversation becomes, obviously, this is new. It's going to start next week. We need to give this 4, 5, 6 months before you guys tell me it's dead, it's not working. This isn't something that in 2 weeks you're like, I don't have any clients still. But we have to explain that to them too, because this is a new thing for us. We're going to promote it, market it, and whatever. And hopefully it has a good return. And to be honest, already they're pretty full. So it's looking really great. But if we don't have that conversation, like, hey, we're going to try this for 6 months, right? That's what I want you to commit to when we make this change. And then we'll reevaluate it here. And they're like, okay, that makes sense. I'm like, that's how we're going to see the numbers and how they work. But everything has to have a long-term plan, and then it has to fit the business structure, mission, vision, right?
For sure. I would say when you're making changes, you're looking at a minimum of 90 days. 6 months is probably going to be the sweet spot for most stuff that you're experimenting with. Because you don't have, think about how often clients come in 90 days. If you're looking at switching schedules, 90 days, 3 months, that's not even enough time to, your client might come in once.
Right. So you don't have the data to support if it's working or not.
A lot of people are looking too immediate. I open up this schedule and it's not full in the next 2 weeks. I'll switch it back because they're just panicking.
Right.
Another thing, Jen, that I want to point out, because we obviously do this, it was my opening take, but apprenticeships. A lot of people are anti-apprenticeships out there that I see, and they're anti for a lot of different reasons. But one of them that I saw is just the time investment and what do I get out of it and blah, blah, blah. And they're just not able to see how it influences a culture, how it benefits the business in 3 years or in 4 years or in 5 years. When you have somebody that's now a cornerstone, we have your first apprentice at Hello is a cornerstone of our business. She is somebody that helps. She is somebody that steps up. She is somebody that brings problems to us before we notice them. She is, not that we don't notice stuff, but you know what I mean? She is somebody that has weeded out the quote unquote toxic employees, because sometimes that stuff happens and you have to, and that's okay. It's okay to have somebody that is not a great fit for your business.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. It's just, what do you do with that information? Do you sit out of fear or that short-term thinking, like, if I get rid of this person, I won't be able to do this, or I won't have this money for this? That's very short-term thinking. that's going to crush your business over time.
Also, guaranteed. I think people keep them too long because they're like, what is everyone else going to think? Maybe I should get a pulse and see everyone's opinion. At the end of the day, it's up to you.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah. Wild.
I think it's very normal, though.
Yeah. I had a little list here that people are going to start doing things like, so these are your people that are stuck. They're going to start doing things like meetings and then stop after a meeting, right? They do a round of them and they're like, that was so great. And then they just don't do them again. Or maybe they hire an apprentice or an assistant and they expect some sort of immediate return on that. Maybe they've raised their prices one time and then they never raised them again. Now you're stuck because you're not progressing. Mm-hmm. So eventually that's going to creep up to you. Or you launch a system or a marketing. We talked about the marketing and you abandon it before it has a chance to take hold, or you put in a new system or whatever for your business and you don't enforce it.
Right. Or you do for a month and then you fall off.
Right.
That's probably more normal.
Yeah. I would say probably too, like a lot of people quit when things were about to start working. Mm-hmm.
But again, that's having that long-term vision and realizing you have to give it enough time. What are you looking for the results even to occur? Like you said, if we do certain things, 3 months may not be enough time now. If you don't see a few clients and we're not seeing if that's really building in the right direction. And if we were to just be like, oh, we'll see in 90 days and see where it goes, like that might be like, oh, this didn't work. But if we're looking at the long term and have a reason behind it and can explain that, it's very different for the mindset of everybody.
I think also that people don't like thinking long term and doing this stuff because it's invisible.
Yeah.
This isn't stuff that you're posting on Instagram. Hey guys, I was planning my 5-year plan. Everyone wants that instant dopamine hit. They want that. I did this and this happened. Everyone wants that overnight success. And a lot of this stuff is, I hate to use this word because it got bastardized like a few years back, but the grind. There's a grind to this. Jen often talks about the marathon pace. Your marathon pace is not your sprint pace, but the sprint is much more exciting to watch.
Ah, for sure.
How many people are watching the Boston Marathon versus how many people watch the Olympic sprinters?
Yeah.
I don't know the actual answer, but I'll tell you that watching the Olympic sprinters is a lot more exciting.
For sure. You're cheering the whole time. The marathon, you just pop in and out, or you're like, oh, where are we at?
Yeah, it's just not putting anyone down that runs marathons, but it's less exciting. There's no highlights.
Until they get to the end, and then you're like watching it for their last mile, maybe.
Right.
Yeah, it's boring stuff, but it has a big impact if you can stick with it and be consistent.
Mm-hmm. The other thing that is, I think, another sort of industry bastardized buzzword, intentionality. All of a sudden, I feel like everyone's like, you have to be intentional.
Do you think that's the word of this year, for sure?
Yeah. My prediction was gatekeeping. I think that was what I had talked about last year for 2026. Gatekeeping was going to be the new term.
I've seen that a lot.
I would say intentional or authenticity. People are like, I'm so authentic for this. I'm like, no, you're not. I saw 3 people post that in the last 7 seconds. You're not authentic at all. Anyways, back to focusing rather than trashing people online. It's not what I'm trying to do, but a person that's going to get stuck or likely to get stuck, I think, is someone that's reacting to exactly what we're talking about, though. Industry trends, influencers. They're worried about what their competitors are doing and they're going to try to copy them. They're talking about salon drama or lack of salon drama. If you're worried and talking about salon drama all the time, you have salon drama.
Yeah.
Whether you say you're salon drama free or not. They're worried about Facebook groups, worried about what other people are going to think. They're just copying. They're copying pricing. They're copying compensation, copying what other people do for their policies. And you can find examples online all the time. I'm sure exactly something popped in your head when I said all of those things, right?
Yeah.
They're copying branding and they're copying business models because nobody is, I guess, going back to something I said earlier, but it's conformity. People think this is how it's supposed to be done, so I have to do it this way. No, you can be original. You can do it your own way. It just takes a lot more work, but that's what pushes you. And that work feels good when it pays off. Are you still going to make mistakes? Are you still going to take your quote unquote licks in the business world? Yeah. Shit. Yeah, dude. You're going to get smacked in the freaking face multiple times. It's, what was it, Mike Tyson? Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face. Yeah. You can have the best plan and still life is going to throw you a freaking curveball now and again, and you're going to miss it and look like a fool. That's okay. Don't worry about it. No one cares. No one's thinking about you. Move on. Right. And it feels so much better than copying. It's the problem that I had with a couple years back and probably still now. It was like all business coaching in the salon industry was all just this cookie cutter thing. Like you paid the coach for your monthly phone call and you got access to some videos. Every single coaching company. That's what it was. And I was like, this is the same thing. You're just, maybe it's a little bit of a different message.
Right.
It's just kind of weird to me, but that was what business coaches did because that was the conformity. This is how it's done. We have to do it this way. And that to me is not as satisfying of trying something new. So back to my little list there, the pricing, compensation policies, branding, and business models. People are copying that stuff without asking first the right questions and thinking long term. So they're not thinking, does this fit my market? Does this support my goals? Does this advance my team? Does this get me closer to my vision?
Mm-hmm. I think that's key is just the even thinking. I think a lot of people, like you said, just copy. Oh, yeah. Like someone said it was successful for them, so I should just implement it without being like, what does this look like for my business? How would this work in my business? And what changes do I need to make to really put this, that it works for the mission and vision of my business, right? Instead, they're just like, oh, it worked for you, I'm going to do it. And then that's why it doesn't work out, or you can't stick with it because you don't even understand what you're doing.
For me, I hope that's the biggest takeaway that people get from this episode is just think. Yeah. Just think for yourself. Some owners are out there spending more time copying what everyone else is doing than thinking. Mm-hmm. If you just thought for a little bit, you would come up with your own answers. And if you can't, that's okay. Think longer.
Right.
You don't have to be on every freaking industry trend. That stuff is so dumb. You don't have to do everything that everyone's doing. That's not what's going to save you. If it was, why would we be seeing so many businesses fail? If that's how it worked, why would those businesses go out of business? It doesn't make sense. You're copying stuff that other people are copying. And before long, it's like telephone. You don't even know what you're doing.
Right.
And you don't know the reasons. So look, borrow principles, but build your own business with them.
Yeah, get inspired by that stuff, but don't just take it over as your own.
Another thing that I say in relation to cooking, and I would deal with this a lot when I had my gym because people would be like, oh, you're a great cook. I'm like, not really. I'm just cooking food. But if you learn the why and the how, everything opens up so much more. So, for example, if you are somebody that just follows recipes, you're going to learn a recipe. Great. You can make that one thing. But if you learn a technique, now you can apply it across the board. So, for example, if we're in New England, so we do a lot of like stews and stuff in the fall, right? In the winter. So say you learn how to make a pot roast. Cool. You know that one thing. But if you learn how to braise, now you can take any protein and apply that technique. It's the same thing with business. So if I copy what somebody else is doing, I'm not learning the fundamental behind it. I'm not learning the quote unquote technique. I'm just copying the recipe. I'm just taking what they've done and applying it. And the ingredients might be different.
Yeah.
So it's not going to work out the same.
Yeah. That's like what's that mentality? Like you're just winging it. I just wing it. Just follow my gut. Okay. That's not where you need to be.
For sure. I think we should touch on core experience because this is where we got into a couple episodes ago where people will do anything. People are opening it looks like a Starbucks or a coffee shop and they'll do anything but hair because a lot of owners are out there and they're like, what can we add? What else can we sell? What else can we offer? But if you're focused on growth, look at what you already offer. Look at your core. What is your core experience? What are you actually selling?
And how do you elevate that?
Not what do you do? What are you selling? So I understand that you do hair. And a lot of people are going to be like, I offer confidence, or I give confidence to people. That's just another buzzword at this point. Everyone's saying the same thing because you're all copying. What about one of the things that or how we look at our business at Hello is, what do we offer our clients? Certainty. They're able to come in and they know that they're going to be taken care of the best that we can.
Mm-hmm.
And that's nothing to do with, really, it is obviously because we do hair, but it's really the peace of mind. It's really, that's what we're selling. So people come in, they don't have to worry about it. And then we can ask questions on that. Like, how do I make these people more relaxed? That's a big thing. So when you walk into a new salon, you're trusting people with how you look that you've never met before.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. It's like a daunting experience, right? You can go, I would say less for guys because our hair, like a lot of guys have shorter hair or whatever, like that. We just have a different attitude. But you go in somewhere and they change the color and you hate it. You have to live with that for a bit and you have to go out in public. And that could make people really nervous. So one of the things we always asked in the beginning, what are we actually doing for people here? It's not just hair. We're making them feel comfortable. We're taking care of every step of the process for them. We're trying to do everything so that they can just relax, because if we can get them to relax, we can get them to return. There you go. That's how business is built. We're constantly looking at how can we improve consultations? How can we improve communication? Consistency is a huge one. How do we make it so it's the same every time and across the board? I want the experience to be similar, or it doesn't have to be the same person to person at Hello, because people are individuals and can do what they want. But within our framework, I want people to know that if they sit in this person's chair or this person's chair, they're still getting a great experience. Right. They're still getting the Hello experience. And so how can we improve then the actual service? What can we do to make the hair even better? Growth isn't just always adding stuff. Sometimes it's just refining.
Great point.
Yeah, I think what did I say on that episode? I think you have to go deeper before you try to go bigger. Because I always see these things that are like, what product lines are selling the best for you? Or what does anyone offer spray tans and which ones make the most money? I know what your goals are, and it's not anything to do with your clients. Yeah. You're just trying to chase whatever the trend is. All right. A couple more quick things and we can wrap, Jen. If you want to grow, you have to create opportunity. So healthy, growing businesses, these are things that we focus on at Hello. I hope it helps you out there. But education, advancement. If you don't want to educate people, you have to figure out a way to get them educated. It doesn't matter if you don't have time because you're behind the chair. It's your responsibility. Yeah. If you want to play owner, you have to advance people. If you don't advance people, what is the point? If people can plateau at your business, what do you think they're going to do when they hit that? Leave.
Right. They see a ceiling. They're like, I can't go any further and I'm getting close to it. So I should start looking for different opportunities.
Yeah. What about the salon you were talking about that people coming out of school are already at the highest they can ever achieve there?
Yeah.
The only thing I can do is get more clients. So the only thing I can do is add shifts.
Right. That's back to the hamster wheel.
All I can do. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some sort of leadership opportunities. We talk to people about that all the time in our business. Hey, you're somebody that we look at as a leader here. How do we grow this? People are looking for stability and they want a career. They want a career that they can be proud of, that they can feel like something that's bigger than themselves. Those are the things that you have to think about. Not things like nobody wants to work. Nobody's loyal. The loyalty's gone. I saw that one recently. I can't find any good people.
And if you focus on all the negative stuff, you're not seeing the positives that the people that are there do bring, and then what you can build off of that to get them where you need them to be. Or if they can't get there, then you're in a different conversation.
Yeah, because those people are going to feel not valued eventually.
Yeah. And if they hear you saying crap about them all the time, they'll be like, I feel like a piece of crap here.
Yeah. If you're struggling with those things, ask yourself these questions. Ask yourself, why would somebody stay here? And it's not your charming personality, I guarantee you. Well, why would somebody stay here? What opportunities exist here? How can they advance? What sort of path can I create, or have we created? Don't look at it as future. Look at it as current, because that's where you're at. What does growth look like at my business? If you can't answer those questions or you struggle, go back to the drawing board. It's okay. Just, I would argue that you should shift your mindset before it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
Last point I had here, we'll wrap on this, is that nothing about businesses that grow or the owners behind them has to do with them being smarter than anybody else. I don't think I'm smarter than anybody else. I don't think, Jen,
Nope.
I don't think you feel that way. I don't think I'm luckier than anyone else.
Mm-mm.
What's that saying where you create your own luck? The harder I work, the more luck comes my way, or something. The luckier I get, right? I don't think the most successful owners are the most talented. I don't even think you have to be talented behind the chair to be a successful owner. I don't think it has anything to do with charisma. I just think it's focusing on the fundamentals of your business, solving the right problems, strengthening your fundamentals, asking better questions, thinking long term.
Mm-hmm.
I think once you get that sort of mindset and focus on those things, it's just easier. I know it's hard to start, but it's over time, it becomes so much easier. Like Jen and I are constantly like, what's the real problem? What are we trying to solve here? If you complain about, I don't even have an example, but if you came to me and you were complaining about something not working, or somebody did this or whatever, I would be like, what's the actual problem? What's the breakdown here? What did I miss? How did I not make this easy for somebody? How did I not notice this, or whatever? You have to ask those questions. And once you start asking them, it gets easier and easier to just, that's the default now. We're responsible for it. Like Jen, you mentioned somebody was late the other day. Why are they late? Have we allowed that? We don't have to answer these questions, but have we allowed that up until this point? Have we never emphasized it? Have we not expressed why it's important? Do we need some sort of system in place? I hate this, but do you need repercussions?
Right.
You know,
these are all things we go through when we hit we hit a wall.
You have to ask questions. Yeah. Anyways, all right, we ran over again, but I don't know. Anyways, reach out if you have any questions, but that's all I got.
Okay.
So,
have a great day.
Bye, everyone.